Luca. So now we have a short roundtable. I think that we can draw some conclusions from the very insightful presentations that we have had, also in connection to what we mentioned very valid.
Yes, okay, so thank you, Alessandro. So first of all, thank you to all the speakers for the really interesting contribution in this discussion, and or even for the project that we have collected many notes for try to put and to transform your comments and your suggestion in your contribution in specific part in our project. So that's I would like just to spend these couple of minutes for just to discuss about some points. So that's data sharing, so the aspect about the harmonization. So I would like just to share with you a question, maybe that's help asking you to eventually to reply. So what about the certification of the data, and what about the capability to avoid false detection? Because this is a big problem, because when you use for example satellite image or maybe open data, one of the risks is that you detect illegal site or potential illegal site, and what happens? That if you have the map of the potential illegal site, immediately you have to open an investigation and not possible to say, okay, we're waiting. You have 1,000 possible illegal sites, you have to start in this direction to investigate 1,000 operative actions. So my question that I want to share with you is some aspect about how it's possible to avoid or to reduce the effect of the false detection in terms of certification, in terms of these points. So then I don't know who can help me in this question, but this is for me one of the pillar, because when the strategy is to developing some automatic tools, one of the risks Caterina explained before is that the risk is that you have also good solution, but even some fake solution. Then for this kind of activities, it's very important to limit the false response, the false detection. So I would like to share with you, maybe starting by Enrico, that many times we starting with talking about the satellite image. So what is your opinion, or maybe even by the other speaker, about the possibility to reduce, to have a more robust or more efficient tools for this point? Okay, so that's...
I try to give you...
Absolutely. In a wonderful way.
Actually, there is no chance of avoiding whatever fake, because every time we have overestimation in general, or underestimation depending on, but in this case overestimation. What I would suggest is, for example, to wait before intervening for a further acquisition. So if you detect a significant change at the first step, you can wait for the next one in order to ensure that that change is confirmed on the next. This is true even in agriculture for us, for taking some decision and being much more sure about the significance of the change that is. So this is the first. On the second, there is a strategy to propose, which is a sort of prioritization. I mean, so you have to find some priorities of interventions for checking at the ground level. I mean, you can define some criteria dealing with the size of the change. So you can make controls at the ground, largest areas, or depending on the type of pollutants you find, there is some pollutants that needs to be immediately explored depending on the dangerousness, level of dangerousness expressed there. So what you have to define are some protocols of intervention, making then according to even for management resources and personal resources, making a selection where intervening. So after waiting for the next this is what I reasonably I will do.
Yeah, please. That's
what is missing, in my opinion, is a common assured documentation for the limits corresponding to the data type of data and resolution. So, for instance, you have shown the TARS automatic detection. What is the ground resolution need?
Okay.
5 centimeter, 1 meter, and the same. We can use our Sentinel-2 for damping often.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. So, but you have to be clear of this.
Yeah, if
And that's just another, no, sorry. Okay, please.
No, please,
I consider general consideration.
please, yeah.
From what I see, there is still a lack of dialogue between the most important actors. Here we find many science and some institutional that operates for the monitoring. But for example, I don't see the jurisdictional users of a specific tool that the researcher can identify as the best tool that public authority can use. We do have the knowledge about the last stream technology that is on the market. You have it, so we need the support. But also we have in our competencies as authorities monitoring the environment, as to have the chance also to interface with jurisdictional actors, in order to say, look, if you are still continue to monitor in this way, you are losing pieces that nowadays in 2024 are quite available. For example, speaking with Carabinieri Forestali, they are obliged to go on, for example, after a forest fire, they have to go with a piece of paper to delimitate the area and then to go back and report. I mean, 2024. They are not available, but they know, foresee that procedure. So, if they don't follow this procedure, every other very good technology that they can use, it is not valid as a proof. So, that's the problem. We need to install a virtuous mechanism of to integrate the different needs and the different possibility to be used for identifying environmental features.
If I can, if I can, I have a provocative question for Cristina. So for the geospatial data in Europe, we have INSPIRE directive that try to how to say, create a sort of protocol, standard definition for the geospatial data. So what about the environmental crime? So will it be possible to have a sort of European protocol of harmonization or definition? Because this is one of the problems, even for the community. So Enrico, but the other one explain us, show us that one of the problems is to have the same dictionary or to have the same language about this. So that's this is my provocative question. I don't know, it's not so easy, but
as usual. Yes, actually, I think that the new directive is already, I mean, a great pillar to start, and considering that the previous directive is dated 2008, so it took like 16 years to have a new directive and introduce new forms of crimes, new criminal offenses, of course, in the environmental crime sector, and these, let's say, these articles that I was mentioning before on data are quite important because they just set a system. Now, of course, the directive is dated April 2024, so I mean, I cannot.
but we have, so that's.
Yes, I cannot actually predict. Otherwise, probably it was the UN Secretary General and not here with you discussing this. But no, I can say that it's quite an important step, quite an important ground basis to move forward. And actually, we really do believe this. Indeed, Dimitri wants to create a capacity building program to try to, let's say, on the EU directive, to try to reproduce the structure of the directive also in other regions of the world. This is, of course, something that I mean, will be carried out and is carried out only because we really think that it's quite important framework and structure.
Yeah, can I comment on this,
Yes.
and then I will go back to the other point. First of all, yes, for our experience, we regarding the terminology in particular, we call it waste, but actually we learned that it's not waste until it proved to be waste. So we should call it material. So just legal side, and that's the reason why the idea of Perivalon is to support the user. So we don't want to replace the analysis. This is not feasible. In general, it stands true for all the artificial intelligence that we know nowadays. We cannot trust all the AI as it is. So it must be a support tool. So, for example, the user don't have to analyze and waste a lot of time to inspect also unuseful sites, zones, regions, but they can focus only on the most suspicious sites. Regarding so that's, I think, addresses more or less all the points. But it's very interesting, the multi-temporal analysis, which is a further future work we are working on, because of course you can also understand if the illegal activity increases, decreases, and so on. Regarding the resolution and all the other stuff, there isn't an answer. Of course, we cannot detect tiles. We are trying to detect tiles from 30 centimeter resolution, but if you have one tile, it's impossible. A pile of tiles, you can do it, of course. And that's the reason why you require a further inspection with drones. Yeah. The idea of satellite is just you provide to the users the most suspicious and so the most probable sites and location.
Fabio, please.
Hello, this is Fabio Giuliano from Polytechnic Torino. I'm involved in the Memphis project. I would like to address some of these points with one comment related to the fact that, for instance, here we are representing the technological, scientific side of the issue, but actually, talking about standards and protocols and so on, actually, I would say that just to be optimistic here, that European Commission is investing millions of euros in this topic, and the two projects are funded by the European Commission and are exactly going in this direction. One of the main outcomes of the emergence project is not a technical protocol, it's an investigation protocol that is involving a lot of end users which are not at all technical partners, and there is a specific work package that is liaison between technical partners and law enforcement bodies in order to translate our terminology into a common language. And even the false positive issue is clearly addressed there, following what was suggested by the other people that spoke before myself, and that is using a multi-scale approach, so starting from the space, going in the field,
yeah, exactly.
device, and whatever. That's the expertise of the law enforcement to understand when it is worth to move from a first alert, which is not 100% sure, to further investigation. But let's start maybe with drones and then wait to go in the field only if you have a further alert that is confirmed by the second step, the third step.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, then.
The final question, because very intense work, we reach to share a lot of information on technical possibilities. But in my experience, our community should foster to improve the diffusion, the technical capability, and the awareness to the population of the technical capability and the results for catch the illegal activities. Just some example, I participated quite 30 years ago to the first IS-1 radar data for catch illegal oils, and the situation in the Mediterranean was terrible. So a lot of other errors of illegal shipping towards the Suez Channel. But then after the diffusion of this image, they disappear. And before using remote sensing data for common agricultural policy subsidies, the average of growth in Italy was 25% more. And when the population understood that the satellite can catch it, decreased to 5, and now it is increasing every year. So that's a lot of message. So our community should improve this, in my opinion.
Thank you. This is a good point. Okay, so thank you. That's maybe it's time to close on my side, and also for Luca. That I would like to say thank you to everyone for, especially for the speakers that have given us a good contribution, and also for the last discussion. And I leave the floor to Alessandro
for
closing.
joining us. If you have want more information about the Mentis Privado, please feel free to reach out. We'll be happy to give you further information or invite you even to events or projects. Thank you.
Thank you very much.